Okay, you said one video a week. One video a week. You have to do this now. Stop being so lazy. If you're not able to do that, you're not able to do anything. Well, my room is kind of messy though. I have to do that first, I guess. Yeah. Oh shoot! I'm late. I guess I'll do that another time.
Psych! I did shoot the video, but it took me a month to get to it. I had major moments of productivity in my life, but I also had major moments where I couldn't get anything done. And I have a background in psychology. My thing is always to understand the root cause of behaviors. Because even if we have all of these to-do lists, all of this scheduling, all of these organizational tools that are available to us, there's always something that get in the way, isn't it? There's always seem to be something that prevent us from doing what we're really supposed to do. And in this video, that's what I'm gonna approach. It's the emotional basis of procrastination.
Inner heroine.
So when we know why we do something, it's easier to stop doing it. Because then we can get at really the root cause instead of using tips and tricks, which work when really we undo the main blocks of what prevent us from doing what we're supposed to do. We live in a society where it's always about how much ish you do. We're defined by how many and how much we do. There's another video where I rant about this in length. You can find it on my channel. It's called Not Feeling Good Enough. And so you can go there and see in depth why we do things to fill a void in our lives. But about procrastination, I just want to mention this because if we're defined by what we do, then, when we don't do, when we are not doing enough, or when we feel like we should be doing, it also releases really negative emotions and negative thoughts within us. And it becomes a circle when we don't do and we feel bad about not doing, and it's linked very deeply to our worth and our sense of self. And so we feel worthless because we're not achieving, we're not doing. And then because we feel worthless, guess what? We're not doing anything, and we spend our time, on social media or, Netflix, anything that prevents us from feeling that sense of unworthiness because we're not doing. And then guess what? Because we spend our time doing that, well, it's even worse because then we see how many hours we could have been doing, but we're not doing. And then it's just this circle like that where we feel more and more worthless, and so we do less and less, and so we feel more and more worthless. And even if you do a little things like here and there, in the back of your mind, you know that it's not really enough because you set out to do something else, something bigger. And it's okay to aim big. It's just about breaking this negative emotional cycle that makes us feel worthless. Doing things is linked to being a valuable human being. If we don't get things done, it's not only about not doing that thing, it's about being unworthy, unlovable, unhireable, undateable. Basically, it's about being a bum. I'm hearing so many people telling themselves that, oh, I'm so lazy because I didn't do this or that. I still do it. And this is not helpful. This is just not helpful to feel guilt and shame because of not doing enough. That's the circle of negative emotions that I was talking about that actually contributes, is a main contributor to procrastination. When I was in college, I was always thinking about how I would feel if I wouldn't do this, or how I would feel if I wouldn't achieve that. For example, if I wouldn't study and get, a bad grade, how would I feel? And that's guilt. And that's shame, because I would feel bad about not having a good grade and therefore not being a good person, even because grades are so linked to our sense of worth also. And so this cycle really got me going. And it's not only me. I know like people relate to this because we are in a society where it's so inhuman, the way we treat each other and the way we think about work and school and just general achievements, that we collectively use very unhealthy motivators and things to keep us going in this endless machine. Many of us also procrastinate because we're not aligned with what we're really supposed to do. And then we're stuck in this guilt and shame of not doing enough in something that is not even important for us. And that's even worse. But if you're actually aligned with what you're supposed to do and you still feel guilt and shame of not doing what we're supposed to do, we need to just let go of that and feel like everything is gonna happen the way it's supposed to happen if we just let things flow and let things come into our lives at the right moment. And in my experience in this life, it has been really more helpful to just drop this sense of guilt and shame and realize that, okay, what can I do now that will bring me closer to what I'm supposed to do, or what I feel really that is my calling? What am I able to do at the moment to bring me closer to that? And the more I do these things that bring me closer, the more I gain momentum and the more I actually end up doing things without even realizing. Like right now I'm filming this video. I didn't set out to do that. I just did it because it was meant like this. And I think a lot of us are not aligned with the right timings of our lives. We're not really, we're trying to rush things and trying to go ahead of what is the good timing for us. And then we feel bad because we see everyone around us achieving and doing and getting ahead in life, and we're not really at that point yet. And then we feel bad because we're not at that point. And because we feel bad, we associate this bad feeling to the actual thing that drives us. And then this association, it is possible to undo it, but that takes work. It's emotional work. It's emotional labor that could be avoided if we just started by being very gentle with ourselves and let ourselves just flow with life and see that if we really, really set out to do something and go by approaching it by, okay, what can I do now that bring me closer to it, and congratulate ourselves from doing small steps towards that, then it's gonna happen even without us really putting any effort into it. So I want to end by saying procrastination is really linked to shame and guilt. And these are the basis of feeling unworthy and the circle of negative emotion that actually prevent us from achieving sometimes what is really important for us. And going with the timing and with the flow and just trusting that we're gonna get there and congratulating ourselves along the way, even for small steps, is what helped me in my experience. And just letting go of this torture weapon that is guilt, and realizing that we're good enough already, and even if we don't do anything, but if we're here to do something and it's really calling us, well, there's ways to do it in a fun way and without actually buying into the way that we were trained to think in school and at work. I'm gonna put out another video with actual tips and tricks, because I think that scheduling and all of that has been done. There's so many videos on YouTube talking about that, but I have actual tips and tricks that I do to feel good about what I'm doing and to associate positive emotions to my achievements instead of negative emotions. So positive motivators instead of negative motivators is the actual way to go. And that's how we should train people at school, I think. So yeah, thanks for watching. And if you like content like this, definitely subscribe and like this video so that it's more suggested to you in your main feed. And I'll see you in the next one.